Are you ready? Because today I'm going to show you how I get that rib wave on this Outlaw BFO. If you don't know what BFO stands for, then you probably don't know how to make that rib wave. All right, guys, the first thing we want to do to our 4 racks of baby back ribs here, I've got them cut out of the pack. I didn't do any trimming on them. All I did was skin that membrane off the back. Just as simple as it can be with my thumb, and ripped it off. Now, I'm going to start off with a little bit of mustard as a binder here. Go ahead and get a coat down there, and I'm going to go ahead and turn these 2 over in the pan and do the same thing. Now you just want to get that mustard rubbed in, and if you don't want to use mustard, you can use oil, you can spritz with water, olive oil, just whatever you want, nothing at all. It's completely up to you. I've just always used mustard. Y'all know, once I get that mustard down, I'm coming back with that garlic jalapeno rub. You can use whatever you like, salt, pepper, garlic. There's a lot of good rubs out there being manufactured right now. I'm just keen on the one that I make with a little bit of jalapeno powder in it. Get a good base coat down. Now, I'm gonna come back with some of that sweet rub. Now this was my very first dry rub. It's the one I perfected. It's won a lot of money. It's still a go-to in some of the contests I cook. So I'm gonna get a sweet rub layer on, let that sweat in a minute. Now, what I'm gonna do now is go ahead and get a little light layer of honey rub on, and then I'm gonna let it set here about 10 or 15 minutes to sweat in, turn it over, and repeat the process. All right, we've got our ribs out here at our Outlaw BFO pit. So the first thing I'm gonna do is go ahead and get these ribs on. I've got the grill running at 300 degrees. So I'm gonna go ahead and take these 4 slabs of baby backs and gonna get them in here. All right, now that we've got our ribs on our Outlaw BFO, I wanna tell you a little bit about this thing. For the ones that don't know Jay Craig from Outlaw Smokers, he builds incredible pits. As you can see here, we've got a set of 30-inch barrels welded together, and they're 60 inches apiece, which makes it 120 inches total of pit. So this is incredible. Incredible trailer. Look at it for yourself. Go around. It's all pearl black. Got nice looking wheels on it. It's got an 8-inch exhaust stack. This is what we're hoping to go to Memphis in May with and win another trophy. And I'm gonna tell you, it won't be the pit's fault. If we don't, it'll be my fault. All right, our ribs have been on about 45 minutes. I'm gonna get in here now. I've got a little bit of water in this jug here. I'm not spritzing with apple juice or anything like that. Just gonna moisten these things up if they need it. Yeah, and you can see that they need just a little spritz on them. So I'm gonna go ahead and just a little bit of water is all we're doing, just keeping them moist. All right, now it's time to wrap our ribs. They've been on a tad over 2 hours. Now, I can tell you, mixing up butter bath is easy. You just want to get a 1/4 scoop and then 3/4 cup of apple juice per slab. So get to mixing and wrapping. Now you can see we've got another sheet pan right here. I'm going to take this full-size sheet pan, and why am I doing that? Because it makes things so much easier. Now I've got my foil doubled over already. Now I'm going to kind of put it off in my sheet pan here. Now I'm gonna take my tongs here, pick my rib up, and I'm gonna lay that rib face down right there in that pan. And what I've done, I've created like a little trough, right? And so now I know I wanna get half of my butter bath mixture on this rib. All right, now, all we gotta do now, get it wrapped up. Let's get these back on the Outlaw for 1 hour, and we're gonna shut the grill lid, leave them shut, and we'll check them after 1 hour. All right, our ribs are done. This smaller slab already hit 203, 204 degrees. These bigger ones had to cook for about another 20 minutes. We've had a total cook time of about 3.5 hours on these big ones. And I can tell you, we're hitting that 203 right there, 204. And that's on every one of these. I'm gonna get them all out and let them rest for about 30 minutes. Now, you wanna protect your hands. I'm using these heat gloves that we just started selling right here if you wanna pick yourself up a pair. All right, our ribs have been off of the grill and resting for about 45 minutes. I'm gonna get in here now, unwrap them, get them out of the butter bath, and get them ready to get sauced up. Now, I'm gonna take my ribs here, and you see the first thing I'm gonna do is kind of take this excess butter bath on the back of that rib and just kind of drain it off right there, right? And I'm gonna set that rib right there still face up. Now, you see all that delicious butter bath left in that foil? You can take this and save it and use it to dunk your pulled pork in. It's amazing. Now, I'm gonna take a little bit of my sweet barbecue sauce. If you've got another favorite sauce you like, be sure to use it. And I'm gonna lay this down right here on the back of this rib, right out of the bottle. Now I'm gonna take my trusty brush here and get it all mopped in. Now I like getting the ends of these bones. If you don't wanna do that, it's completely up to you, but I don't want a dry looking end bone when I'm doing stuff. Keep spreading this in, get it turned over, and repeat the process. All right, now these ribs are ready to eat right now, but I'm gonna come back and make them that Memphis muddy style. I'm gonna sprinkle just a little bit of dry rub on top and get them ready to go back on my pit for about 15 to 20 minutes to tack this sauce up. Now today I'm going with my old school sweet barbecue rub. It's got an incredible taste to it. We use it on everything from popcorn to Bloody Marys. All right, let's get it back on this Outlaw. All right, our Outlaw is still running at 300 degrees. Let's get these ribs back on the pit very carefully. Now I've got a spatula for doing cakes and stuff. It's the perfect length for a rib to pick it up. So just go to any restaurant supply store and look at that. And I'm just gonna lay it back on there. Just as gentle as you please, especially these baby backs. You can go right in there just like that and lay it back in there. All right, let's get that grill lid shut and let them tack up. All right, our ribs have been glazing about 15 minutes, and I can tell you they look good. I'm gonna go ahead in here and pull one off and set it back on this rack here. Look at that. That sauce is tacked up. That is absolutely beautiful. Look at those ribs there. Oh man. Yeah, that sauce is tacked up there. That is pretty. Now let's get these around back on the cutting board. Cut in some of these babies. All right, our ribs are off the grill. They've had time to rest. They've cooled down. I've stacked them up. Just to recap, we took some Prairie Fresh prime ribs. We rubbed them down with a little mustard after we skint the membrane off the back of them really easy. We didn't trim anything off of them. We then added a layer of garlic jalapeno rub, followed by a layer of sweet rub and then honey rub on both sides. We put them on our Outlaw BFO smoker running at about 300 degrees. They cooked for about 45 minutes and we started spritzing them with water every 30 minutes after that. They cooked a tad over 2 hours. We wrapped them up in our butter bath. So we had a total cook time of about 3.5 hours. Pulled them out, glazed them for about 20 minutes after they rested. And I can tell you, they smell incredible. There's only one thing left to do, and you know what that is. That's get in here and try one. Now I'm just gonna follow down the bone right here. Get in here real good and easy. Go on each side. I can tell you these things are tender. Now, cutting that off, now I showed you it was tender, right? Look at this. You can peel all that meat away from that bone if you want to. And then that is how you eat a good rib. That flavor profile is absolutely delicious. If you like what we're doing on our channel, be sure to like, subscribe, follow along with your friends. You can find us on Facebook, Instagram, Twitter, TikTok, and of course YouTube. I'll see you next week with another video.